Hi, this is Kagi, and welcome to, I have no idea what episode it'll be up here or wherever it gets put, of the high fiber diet. It's been a little while since I recorded. I came down with the icky stuff, that C19 that's gone around, and got pretty sick, so I was out for about 2 weeks from work, and I just needed some time to recoup. I'd say I'm at 95%, not completely over it. Have a little bit of sinus issue, but the coughing, the headaches, the everything else that goes with it, gone. So I am better in that way. So welcome to my living room. You'd think with having 2 weeks off from work, which, they brought me a computer and I remoted in, so I don't know how much 2 weeks off was, but I didn't get a whole bunch of knitting done. I didn't get a whole bunch of crochet done. But I'll show you what I did get done, and I think I talked about it last time that I was going to go in and get a perm. I did not. Went this morning and just got a trim, and my curls came back, and I'm extremely happy. So is it styled the way I do it? No, they always style it different, but I like it, so it works for me. Let's see, I have some projects, some acquisitions, some gadgets. Haven't talked about gadgets in a while, and I think I have 2 or 3 to talk about. So let's get into it. Before I got sick, Sturgis happened, and I am maybe 20 minutes from Sturgis here in South Dakota. And so of course I had to get Sarge a shirt, and my father-in-law will be getting one, and not sure if my brother-in-law or my son will be getting the other. But I picked up the Sturgis 2021 shirt for them and the back. Now where I work, we got overflow from Sturgis. People wanted to come, of course, see the Black Hills, and we had a lot of traffic in and out there. I was expecting a lot more than what showed up, but I'm not complaining. It wasn't a bad drive. I mean, I've said before, it's an hour drive, and it really didn't take me any longer or anything, on those days that it was happening. So I guess we'll start with that, with the t-shirts, because I got a few more things that, for Sarge, he's out processed from his unit and in processed at a medical base, and so he's taking care of himself before he retires, and that's cool. But he had seen this online and he wanted me to pick it up for him, and it says, "When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty," and that's from Thomas Jefferson. So I picked up that shirt for him. And where did I pick it up from? I don't think it has it on there. Port and Company, I'm not sure. Core cotton shirt. But the same place had a hat that says, "We the people are pissed off." And that was one I got for him. I think he'll enjoy that. And then, if you've been around for a while, when I was still an audio podcast, you'd know that Sarge and I met when he was in the Air Force. And he was a crew chief on F-15s back then, and we met at Edwards Air Force Base. This place, I don't even remember the name, I'll try to link it below, but this place does graphics in the shape of an aircraft. You can get civilian aircraft or military aircraft, and they do coordinates that you would like. And so I told them I'd like the Flightline at Edwards, and I'd like his F-15, and make sure that it was a D series, so that it was a dual seater, so it had a longer nose area than the others. And so they did his airplane, and that is Flightline of Edwards Air Force Base. And what's really cool about this is up here it shows, let's see, where is it? If I hold it this way, maybe. You have Rosamond over here. You have California City, which is where we used to live, over here. North Edwards, North Base, and North Edwards would be over here. And then, of course, the Edwards Air Force Base straight in the middle is where the flight line is. And he had lived right walking distance in the barracks. And I think it's really cool that it had all that on there. So Sarge is going to enjoy that. It'll probably be a Christmas present. He doesn't watch this. So, and even if I told him, he's wonderful and he forgets what I tell him anyways, so yeah. So that was a little bit of acquisitions before. Oh, I got one more that's a before that is not yarn related. And I picked this up from work, and it is from Arthur Shortbull. He's a Oglala Lakota watercolorist who has been painting since 1991. He was raised in a traditional Lakota family. It contributes to his artistic vision. The medium of watercolor also gives his work a delicate edge that captures in a single brush stroke the spirituality that is uniquely his. I had to. And this is White Buffalo Calf Woman. And I absolutely adore it. I need to get a frame for it. I'm going to get a wooden frame and probably matting and get it hung. But I loved it, and I know it'll go up in my living room here and fit with the colors and everything that I have. And so I had to. So now that I've shown that, let's get into the knitting. What have I been knitting? Well, spinning first, because I have a finished object, and that is 120 yards about of a sparkle bat, and a friend has claimed this, so I'm going to be sending it off to her. But this was spun on poly, the polywug, and then plied on my ladybug. Still becoming friends with poly. So Rue and I, of course, are already friends, so I plied that up. It is an Aran weight, and the colors just, they pop and they sparkle, and I am in love with it, but I know my friend will love it too. And so this, I wanted to show it off before it goes on its way. I know it is merino and sari silk and stellina, and there's probably a couple other things in there. And I don't normally spin for a project. I spin to spin for zen. It's my relaxation when I need to escape. And so this has been washed and thwacked and is ready to go into an envelope and go to my friends. That is just, you can see some of the stellina hanging off of that. Love the way it came out. So knitting wise, what have I been doing? Well, I decided to start Sangoyan. I think I'll put the name. It's by Knititude. The only thing I don't care for on her sweaters is she doesn't do a higher neck in the back. And I could have, but I didn't. I didn't want to think about it. So I did start with a 9, moved into a 10.5 for the upper part of the body, And as I'm going into the regular body, because she actually called for an 11, I just wanted it more secure up here. And this is coming out really, really well. It is a raglan. And you can right now see the difference in where I switch needles, but that'll block out to where it'll just look a little bit looser and roomier around the bust and down the body. So what I did was I knit this portion to where I separated for the sleeves, and then I enlarged the size of the needle to what the pattern called for. So it's a little denser at the top, but it's still going to block out nicely. And it just starts with a 1x1 ribbing, and it goes down. I'm going to make it a little bit longer than what it calls for, and then at the bottom it has a lace pattern. On the sleeves it goes down, and I believe the lace pattern's also on the sleeves. So it will be a full length. What I am using, of course, my Chiagu needles. And I am using Quince & Co. Osprey, which is their Aran weight, 170 yards per skein, in their dogwood pink colorway. And I wanted a soft pink sweater for this fall. And I am carrying that around in a new acquisition. This is Stitched by Jessalou, and this is what I call my Because Poo. I am a huge A.A. Milne's fan, and I just said, I need a sweater bag and poo. Can you get me a sweater bag and poo? And it's got everybody, I think. Let's see, there's Eeyore and Pooh and Piglet, and we got Tigger down here. Oh, I don't think Kanga and Roo are on here. Of course, yes, that's where my spinning wheel gets the name and why my car is called Kanga, even though my new license plate says Knit 2 Purl 2. Kanga was my license plate in Michigan, because what's an HR person but the Kanga of the shop, so that works. But she always puts a firefly on her bags, and that's her zipper pull. But then I had a friend send me a new stitch marker, and I'm using it right now as a zipper pull. Jackie, thank you so much. I got a Tomte given to me. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And so everything will fit. The sweater and all of the skeins of yarn will fit in this bag from Stitched by Jessalou. And she did a special order for me, so I appreciate that. So next would be, let's open bags and find out. Because I just pulled out all the bags. Now this is a bag that my person sent me. It is a Mrs. Brown's bag. And it is holding the triangle shawl. It's a double triangle shawl. What's it called? I forget. And it is being made out of, hopefully I put something in here. Here's my flamingo scissors. Nope, but it's it's a linen alpaca wool blend from Pearl Soho, I think. I can't remember, but I'll try and put it in here if I can remember that. I've got this color, and I'm in the middle of a round on that, or back and forth. It's all short rows. I'm using a coffee mug as my stitch marker. I am doing this on my Licca needles, size 3. It's not going very fast because it's size 3. I may pull this out and move up to a size 6 just because I like the fabric a little bit better. And yeah, it might be a little bit smaller of a shawl, but I'll be much happier knitting on it. So it's been in timeout a little bit. Just love it. I went to lunch with a friend, and I forget who made this bag. I think this was a bag I got in Swap. Jackie Tremblay Quilted by made this for me in a Swap, and I have been knitting on a pair of socks. This is out of Zigzag in the New York colorway, I believe it is. Yep, New York colorway. And I am at the part where I am working on the heel flap, and I'm just doing a standard slip stitch heel flap on that. Just a 5-inch sock top, and I'm working on Haya needles 1.5 US 1.5. So that's as far as I've gotten on that, and that was before I got sick. I went out to Indian food with her, and that's what I was working on. I normally leave this in my car in case of emergency knitting. But then another friend and I went to Fort Hayes for dinner, and we did their stagecoach dinner buffet thing. You get dinner and a show. And I have cast on Stephen West. I think I talked about this last time. This is the gradient minis that I got from, I think it's Chicken Lady. I think they were in the patriotic colorway. So this is the first one that went from dark blue all the way to the speckled red. The other one goes from speckled red all the way to the dark red. And I am using Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool in the cream as my carry along. And I'm a bit further on this, so I started here at the tip, and each time you swap back and forth, you're increasing rows. So these 5 wedges are the same size, and then these 5 wedges are more increased. And I am 2.5 wedges into this one, so you can see how it's going to flow back and forth. And I'm not doing it where each wedge is each color. I'm just letting it flow, and it will get as big as it gets. I am using Rosewood from Knit Picks Needles. I believe these are Knit Picks, yes. And yeah, so it is super squishy. And so this is a Stephen West, it's the Woke Bloke knit along that we're doing on our Telegram group that I'm on with Unsafe Space. And so far that's where I am. I haven't worked on that since I got sick. So the last time I worked on that was the Friday before I ended up sick on Sunday. And this one is in my knitting tackle bag, and I still love this bag. Use it all the time. A friend made it. So, what did I work on next? I started Boo's Blanket. She decided chevrons weren't for her, which worked for me because I really wasn't into doing the chevrons. So what I've done, weird color bits. I don't like it when the yarn does that. It's a white yarn, it shouldn't have colored bits in it. And do I have my hook? I know I'm working on a 9mm. Carry both kinds of 9mm. I am using Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Bulky, and it's about 87 yards per skein. It is 100% acrylic. She wanted wash and wear, and she wants it to progress from white to black. So this is going into the 3rd skein, and all I'm doing on this one is a double crochet, but depending on if I'm working on the right side or the wrong side, I either work in the front or the back to give it this pattern to to where you have line ridges. So I'm either working in the back of the stitch or the front of the stitch as I'm going through. It is going to be yay wide, big enough for 2 people to snuggle under, hopefully long enough. I may have to order more yarn because these are going rapidly. Like I said, that's number 3, and I have 4, 5, 6. So it's going to go from the white to this light gray, and then into this dark gray, 7, 8, 9, and then into the black, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 more skeins, so a total of 15. Yeah, 15 skeins with 4 colors. So I have 4 of the black, 4 of the white, 2 of the light gray, and 2 of the dark gray. And I don't know if that's going to be enough. I may have to buy another skein to do borders just to make it a little bit bigger. But that's what I have on that. I didn't do a pattern. I cast on, I think I cast on 102 stitches. So it's 100 stitches across, 2 up, and then doing the on the wrong side there's no ridges. On the right side you can see ridges, and I'll just gradiate them up. I think it will be color blocked. I don't think I'm going to fade anything, because fading in the way that I'm doing it would be irritating. So I have that going, and I had ordered that yarn because the other yarn, I did get my room cleaned out. I have all the yarn now down in the basement in totes up off the ground on metal. So I think I have 15 totes of yarn, and I will be going through that and sorting a bunch of that. But I also found all my works in progress. And one of the things that I found in my works in progress was the granny squares that I was making out of the Sheppies. And these are all cotton acrylic blends, and I have the minis, and I have a bunch more still to make. But I also have a bunch of regular already made up, and then I have a bunch that are from when I took 2 boxes of it to Knittin' in the Mitten, and they all made squares. And so I decided to start putting them together. So it's just about a 5-inch little square, and that's what all the rest of those are, unless, you know, some are smaller and I'll have to do a round on them, and that'll get done. But so far, as you go, this is what it's looking like. And I have another one here. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to have to figure out where to place it. As you can see, it's just that much bigger, so it'll probably go on an end or a corner that I can finagle it into. But the rest of them are all done up in this size, and if I do crochet as you go to join, it's a very easy join. And so I'm just bordering and doing, and I am bordering it with stonewashed Shepagees. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. S-C-H-E-E-P, which would be like a sheep. J-E-S. So I don't know if it's just sheepies. Not sure. But I'm using black onyx. That's the colorway that I am doing. And I have 3 more skeins, 4 more skeins of that color. So I have plenty to get it going. I may have to order more, but I'm really liking the way it's coming out. And I don't know how big it's going to be. And I don't know where I'm going to throw in the ones that they made compared to the ones that I made. And there's 50 of each. It'll be 100 squares, 10 by 10 eventually. And this is all being held in a feed sack bag that my person Lori made for me out of a chicken feed bag. And I love it. So all of that is being held in there. And it is woven paper, a freight shipping bag. And she turned it into a tote bag for me. Love it. Oh, let's see. Didn't order much yarn, but the other thing that came when I ordered from Premier, a friend had sent a pattern link for booties, slipper booties that are the old 1970s booties. My sister is all into the Minions, the little Twinkie looking things that are in that one movie. It's so fluffy, that movie. And so I had to get a blue and a yellow to make her Minion slippers. And then I saw that they had the green and the white that goes for Michigan State. And my son and daughter-in-law are super into Michigan State, so I should be able to make slippers up for them and slippers up for my sister and brother-in-law. And then I have yarn to make felted clogs for my other sister and brother-in-law. And so I'm going to be busy if I can get this done by Christmas. We'll see. I mean, I have, 3 more blankets that I'm working on too that I haven't even touched that I'm supposed to get done before Christmas. And, you know, it's just, I'll get it done when I get it done. I'm not looking for anything. But to me, this yarn is very reminiscent of Karen Simply Soft, the old Karen Simply Soft. And the reason I say the old is that's what I made my wedding gown out of. I didn't have a lot of money, and I made my wedding gown for $23, I think. But this is super shiny, super soft, and a DK weight. Even though it says it's worsted, it's really a lot thinner than a normal worsted. That's a DK weight. And it is 100% acrylic, washes like a dream, and it's 270 yards per skein. And so the Michigan State colors, of course. And then the yellow Twinkie dude with his denim overalls. And so that's going to be the Minions. And I won't call them Michigan colors because that's not blue enough for that. And that's not maize enough for that. And so I have slippers that are going to be made. Yes, I have a ton of yarn, but I did not have these colors for slippers. And I will be getting the puff paint to go on the bottom so they don't slip and fall, so I don't kill my relatives. But I love slippers in the wintertime. I kick off my shoes when I come in because I have cream colored carpet. So I have my shoe rack over here. And I like putting on a pair of slippers and relaxing. So I don't worry about having things brought in. But I think that's it, and I'm on to acquisitions. That was the first acquisition. Then from Fate's Thread, Shauna, I think that's how you say her name. It might be Shania. Of fatesthreads.com. I ordered some things, and the first thing she sent me was this little skeleton stitch marker. Isn't he cute? Let's see, can he hold still? But I'm a brown coat. I've been a brown coat forever. I think they're coming up on 20 years of the show. So, Sarge is a brown coat. I'm a brown coat. We watched Firefly from the first, and of course Serenity afterwards, and we own them on DVD, and we watch them all the time. We were together. Well, they have this bag, and it's exactly the same bag, but the reason I have two is one had Jane's hat. And I'll hold that up a little bit closer so you can see the firefly of everything. And this is a nice gusseted, quilted, nice size bag. It'll hold a shawl or smaller sweater. Two skein project, and they're both the same size. The other one, crinkles and all, because crinkles mean good things. The other one has Serenity herself as the zipper pull. And that one, of course, had the yellow zipper. This one has a white. They both have the same inside, the same gusseted bottom. Love them. And then because I was shopping around, of course, hers is fatesthreadbags.com. But while I was on looking at things and Firefly inspired, I went to Book Nerd Gifts. It's an Etsy shop. Book Nerd Gifts, and nerd spelled N-U-R-D. Hi, Spot. How you doing, big boy? Got a little bit of bling for Holly Honda. And the bling is a firefly. This is Serenity. And this will be hanging from my rear view mirror. And I'm very happy with that. It's not super heavy, but it's a nice weight. And that'll be on my rear view mirror. And then I want to say 2 months ago, I ordered off a Facebook ad. Now, I don't do that a lot, but I had ordered, anybody who knows me knows that I darn. I don't normally darn. Yes, I know how to darn. But they had this little kit. Let's see what the actual name is for it. It is, called a DAM. D-A-M. So this is how you use the thing. And it is a woven darner. And it is this little device that has little hooks. And then it comes with a wooden piece that holds up your, so you'd put your fabric in the middle of this, and this would hold behind so that it's held steady. And then you have rubber bands and a needle in there. But the neat thing is it also shows you how to do visible weaving. And so this is for darning and for closing up holes in your knitting or knitted items, whether it be a t-shirt or even your woven jeans, those kind of things. But this is visible mending so that you can do just a patch, and then this is how you do the stitching on top. And so it has a lot of different, this one's just straight stitches, this one's a pattern, a floral pattern, straight stitches. Let's see, then they have like an interwoven plaid, circles. see that? And then stars. And I'm not that great at embroidery. I'm still learning. And having something like this that I could use as like a template on how to do visible mending, I want to get into this. Not that I have a lot of clothes that get worn out. Guess I'm not that rough on my clothing, but I want to try it. And so I went ahead and I ordered this. I think it cost, you know, I don't remember, less than 40 bucks. I know that. And it was one of those things where you think, oh, what did I order? What's coming in? Do I have, what is it called? Primnesia on what I'm buying. But I was very thankful that I got that. And the other thing from Amazon that I picked up, well, that one wasn't from Amazon, but this one was. Picked up 2 of these, and these are blocking mats. And I had gotten rid of my ABCs when I moved from Michigan because they had been used so often, they were worn out. And of course, now I'm not in a home that I own, so I have to use things like this instead of, most people knew me, I had pins in my wall that were set, and I could do a shawl in a moment's notice because the pins were there and they were in the drywall. Well, I don't own this house, so I had to pick up these, and I don't even remember what they cost, but I picked up 2 packs so that it's big enough to do sweaters and shawls, and they're interlocking just like the ABCs were. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a container, and they weren't that bad on price, so I ordered 2 of them. So these came in, and they come with T-pins. So they already have it so that you can just be ready to pin out your clothes or whatever your project is that you're using. So yeah, been a little bit busy. Hi, are we having a bath behind us? Yes. Aren't we all jealous that he can stick his leg up like that? It's cats, right? I've done some things around the house. I have a bed now for a guest to come and stay. And let's see. It is, if I can get it to go big, it is an ottoman. That pulls out to a chair with a footstool that pulls out to a full bed. And as you can see, I still have boxes over here that need to be put away. And, you know, right now my basement is pretty full of boxes. This couch group is going to be going down into the basement so that we have a second living room down there. And I just ordered new couches for up here. Because of the size of the space, this couch, even though it's much smaller than the couches I had in, well, I bought this in Michigan, but the ones that I had before that were overstuffed, the kids now have. And it's just this room, it doesn't fit. So what I did was I ordered a love seat and couch or chair with ottoman. I have the hiccups. And so that hopefully will be coming in the first part of October, and I'll be able to get all this swapped down there and make the house a little bit better in hominess. I did put together, I ordered and put together my drop leaf round table with 2 chairs for my dining room, and just trying to make this more home than it's been in a while. You know, it's just been a place where I come home and sleep. And now that Sarge is getting ready to get out here, I need to make it the home that it needs to be. And yeah, don't know that I have a lot more to talk about. I guess I hope everybody out there is healthy and happy and staying sane with everything that's going on. And until next time, check your checkbook before you start the high fiber diet. Bye-bye.